Discovered. A mud-covered girl transforms a job interview into an amazing life-changing story. Emma Thompson stood in front of the mirror, lungs tight with anxiety. In mere minutes, she would step into the world of polished suits and eloquent speeches. Yet there she was, a mud-covered testament to resilience, her hair a chaotic tornado of dirt-streaked tangles. Just moments earlier, she had been digging in the garden alongside her mother, shoveling dirt with the same fervor that had fueled their dreams. They were in it together, her mother's sacrifices pounding in Emma's heart like a relentless drum. As she pushed open the heavy glass doors of the local marketing firm, a hush fell over the pristine office. Toned-down gray walls and sleek furniture screamed professionalism, contrasting starkly with her earthy appearance. The air tasted of polished wood and distinct judgment. A trio of interviewers exchanged glances, eyebrows raising in disbelief. Emma felt their condescending smiles wash over her like ice water. But deep down, her spirit ignited. How could she, a mud-covered girl from a struggling town, ever back down? She took a deep breath. I might look like I've rolled in a pigsty, she began with a wry grin, but I'm here because I believe in working hard for what you want. Murmurs rippled through the panel, but she pressed on, weaving in snippets from her life. The nights her mother pulled double shifts, the times they barely scraped by, and the hope that shimmered just beyond her reach. As she spoke, Emma's voice grew stronger, fueled by the admiration growing in her own heart. The years of toiling away, framing her family's struggles with tenacity, turned to golden threads in her tale. She was no longer a mud-covered girl. She was a warrior, representing dreams that didn't need to be wrapped in designer suits. Then came Mr. Henderson, the slickest of the panel, his polished appearance making him look like he descended from corporate Olympus. So, he leaned forward, scrutinizing her like she was a project he didn't want to invest in. What makes you think you're qualified? The question hung heavy in the air, charged with skepticism. Yet something flickered in Emma's eyes. Vulnerability met steel, as she caught a glimpse of the hidden struggles reflected back in Henderson's own. Success isn't stitched from privilege, she said. It's sewn together with grit and determination. An unexpected silence settled like a thick fog between the four of them. Henderson's facade cracked, revealing the layers of doubt he too had faced, his family's expectations that smothered his peace. Just when it seemed like her truth might catch flame, uncertainty seeped back in. The panel busied themselves with internal debates, the tension stifling yet electric. Emma's heart raced, the fear of rejection entwined with hope. Would they see her worth hidden beneath layers of mud? Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. As Emma braced herself to leave the office, a flicker of connection sparked between her and the interviewers. What began as mockery slowly transformed into intrigue. A round of whispers filled the room, layers of understanding unfurling. Emma turned to face the panel again. 100 questions murmured in their expressions. Yet as she stepped out, there was a question lingering in the air. Would they recognize the girl inside the mess? Would they see the strength forged in the fiery pit of adversity, and choose to lean into the story behind the mud? Emma stepped outside, the heavy glass doors swishing shut behind her. The oppressive silence of the office was replaced by the sounds of life surrounding her. Cars honking, children laughing, and the distant chatter of people in cafes. The cacophony felt strangely comforting, a reminder that the world was still turning, regardless of what had just happened in that stark interview room. Her heart raced as she walked down the street, each undeniable beat echoing with uncertainty. Did she nail it? Or was she just another quirky story for them to tell at lunch? The questions gnawed at her. She had bared her soul, traded her pride for a shot at something more. Yet, a flicker of hope accompanied the anxiety. She couldn't shake the feeling that she had managed to touch something deeper within them, some shared struggle, a hidden story of their own. As she made her way home, the sun dipped lower in the sky, casting a warm golden hue over everything. Emma's mother would be waiting with dinner, the scent of rosemary and garlic always cheering her up after a long day. As she opened the door, a wave of warmth and familiarity washed over her. Her mother was there in the kitchen, every pot's clanking, every simmering sound a melody of love and care. "Hey, how did it go?" her mother asked, wiping her hands on a dish towel, her eyes lit with anticipation. Emma stared into those familiar eyes that held her past, present, and all her dreams for the future. The urge to share every detail surged within her. "It was interesting," she replied, her voice teasingly coy. She couldn't help but smile as the memory of presenting herself as the mud-covered warrior played back in her mind. Emma recounted snippets of the interview, embellishing moments of courage and laughter, but she kept the core of her feeling guarded, distant from the risk of crushing her mother's precious hopes. "Did they appreciate your hard work? Did you impress them?" her mother pressed, eyes wide with hope. Emma hesitated, her heart feeling heavy with truth. "They saw me, I think. I hope." The words tangled in her throat, a blend of optimism and self-doubt that tasted bittersweet. Later that evening, Emma found herself sitting at her small, sunlit desk, staring blankly at her unmade plans. What if nothing changed? What if this was only a story to tell over takeout like so many before? Regret seeped in, but she quickly pushed it aside. No matter how it ended, she had spoken her truth. She had fought. Just then, her phone buzzed on the desk, pulling her from her thoughts. It was a message from an unknown number. Her heart raced again as she checked it. Could it be the firm? A wave of anxiety crashed over her. "Hi, Emma. This is Mr. Henderson from the marketing firm. Can we discuss something important regarding your interview?" Those words slammed into her like a freight train, igniting possibilities she dared to dream about. There was no escaping the flutter in her stomach. What did they want? Was there a chance she'd actually landed the job? Or was it something else entirely? With trembling fingers, she responded, barely able to contain the whirlwind of emotions building inside. As she waited for a reply, the night stretched on, rich with anticipation. Emma took a deep breath, staring at her reflection in the window, vulnerable yet defiant. In this moment, she realized the story was just beginning. Would the next chapter lead her down the path of her dreams, or would it take another unexpected turn? The possibilities were endless, and the answers lay just ahead, waiting to be discovered. The quiet buzz of her phone broke through the silence, yanking Emma from the whirlwind of her thoughts. She had sent a quick, eager reply, her fingers struggling to keep up with her racing heart. "Absolutely. When would be a good time?" As the minutes crawled by, her mind spun with possible scenarios. She pictured Mr. Henderson, the tall man in a crisp suit from the interview, wearing a grave expression. Or maybe he'd be grinning, an envelope in hand, ready to hand over her dream. Each possibility pulled her in different directions, and she could feel the knots tightening in her stomach. Finally, her phone vibrated again. Her breath hitched as she saw his name flash across the screen. "Can we talk at 8? "Of course." She shot back excitedly, feeling a swell of urgency. Emma glanced at the clock, noting the time as it ticked inexorably towards 8. She threw on her favorite sweater, the one that made her feel like she could tackle anything. In the mirror, she practiced her smile, rehearsing the calm confidence she hoped to project. As the clock struck 8, she sunk into the comfort of her chair, her palms clammy against its wooden arms. What if this was the moment everything changed? Anxiety pulsed through her, heat flooding her cheeks. She needed to remember that she had done her best. Her phone rang, the sound echoing in the stillness. With a swift movement, she answered it. "Mr. Henderson." "Emma. Good to hear from you," came his voice, smooth yet somehow heavy. "Thank you for reaching out. How can I help?" There was a slight pause, and Emma could picture him adjusting his glasses, shifting through her interview notes. "I wanted to discuss your interview and consider a potential offer." It's a unique situation and quite a story, actually. Emma S. Hartsword. I'm listening. He continued, we are looking for someone who can bring a fresh perspective. You definitely sparked interest with your approach. A flood of warmth washed over her. That's great to hear. I appreciate the opportunity. However, he hesitated. We noticed you gave some unconventional responses. It's not the standard we're used to. Emma's heart sank, the exhilaration draining away. So, am I in or out? Here's the thing, we'd like to offer you a position, but it would be under a trial basis, a different role than what you applied for. It's going to require some adaptability and creativity from you. You in? The breath caught in her throat. A trial role? It felt like a stepping stone, not a landing pad. What does that mean, exactly? It's a chance to prove yourself. We want to see how you can handle the pressure while working closely with a team focused on revitalizing our brand. If you shine, you could transition into the role you applied for. Desperation and excitement warred within her. This was an opportunity, but it came with strings attached. What if she failed? Could I take some time to think it over? Absolutely. But keep in mind that we'll only hold this offer for 24 hours. You're a hot ticket right now, Emma. The call ended, leaving the silence pounding in her ears. She sat in the dim light of her room, the weight of the decision pressing heavily against her chest. This was a chance to step into the world she wanted, but it felt scary to dance on a tightrope. Emma realized she was at a crossroads. Taking the less traditional path could lead her toward her dreams, but it also risked the stability she craved. As she contemplated her next steps, her mind raced with self-reflection. What if she decided to embrace the uncertainty, to walk the edge? Or would she cling to what was safe and comfortable? The ticking clock reminded her that the choice loomed just ahead. With her heart pounding in her chest, she bounced her knee up and down. What would she decide? Did she have the courage to leap? Each tick of the clock felt like a challenge thrown at her. This new path waited untouched and unfamiliar. Emma took a deep breath, knowing whatever she chose, it would define her story, one way or another. Would she choose to embrace the challenge, or turn back? The answer lay just a heartbeat away. Emma sat in the dim light, the weight of uncertainty pressing down on her. The walls of her small room seemed to close in, the air thick with possibility. Nerves twisted in her stomach as she ran through every emotion again. Excitement, fear, hope. The clock ticked louder than ever, each second a reminder of the decision that loomed over her. What if I don't take it? She murmured to herself. What if this is my only chance? The thought sent a shiver down her spine. She stood and began pacing, the familiar grooves in the floor offering some grounding. Her mind was relentless. What would she do if she took the trial role? Would it lead to her dreams or burn her out before she even got started? Deep down, she craved the challenge. Emma pictured herself in the bustling office, ideas flowing, laughter echoing off the white walls. She imagined the bright faces of her potential team, supportive and encouraging. Yet, everything hinged on this leap of faith. As she paced, her gaze landed on her notebook, open to a page filled with dreams and aspirations scrawled in her messy handwriting. I want to create. I want to inspire, she had written. Emma felt a spark ignite. The words swirled in her mind. This was her chance to prove she could be more than the girl who played it safe. But then came the crushing weight of doubt. She envisioned the whispers, the judgment if she failed. The memories of previous disappointments haunted her. What if this was another dead end? Emma clenched her fists, battling the swell of conflicting thoughts. She took a deep breath, letting the emotions swirl around her like a thick fog. No more hiding, no more second-guessing. If she wanted something real, it was time to fight for it. Maybe it was the soft glow of her desk lamp illuminating words of hope, or maybe it was the sheer refusal to let fear dictate her life any longer. But in that moment, clarity struck her. I'm not going back, she promised herself, her voice shaking yet firm. I'll accept the trial offer. As the decision settled, she allowed herself to smile. It was bittersweet, a mix of fear and exhilaration. She sat at her desk, heart hammering, and began drafting her reply to Mr. Henderson. I appreciate the offer. I'm ready to embrace the trial role. Just as she hit send, her phone rang again. It was Mr. Henderson, and the sharpness in his tone made Emma's heart race. "Emma, you there? Congratulations on your decision, but I need to discuss something very important with you regarding the team you'll be working with. Can you meet me tomorrow? What's going on?" Questions already bubbled up inside her as curiosity hung in the air. "It's better if we talk in person. You want to miss this." The excitement surged once more. She nodded, even though he couldn't see her. "Course I'll be there." As she hung up, Emma couldn't shake off a sense of unease. Something didn't quite feel right, and the weight of his words echoed in her mind. What wasn't he telling her? The thrill of her decision faded slightly as a new layer of anxiety crept in. She felt like she stood on the edge of a cliff, excited to jump, but unsure what awaited her below. What had her leap of faith really landed her in? With this question orbiting her thoughts, Emma closed her eyes, visualizing what tomorrow would bring. Would it be the start of her journey, or a detour she never anticipated? She had stepped into the unknown. Now, she had to prepare for whatever awaited her when the sun rose on a new day. Emma clenched her hands into fists, steeling herself for whatever was next. Did she have what it takes to handle the truth behind that mysterious phone call? The morning light seeped through the curtains, golden rays casting a warm glow on Emma's face. She stirred in bed, heart racing with anticipation. Today was the day. She took a deep breath, willing herself to remain calm. The air was crisp, carrying the promise of new beginnings and perhaps some surprises. After a quick shower and a barely there breakfast, Emma stood before her closet, choosing between her few work-appropriate outfits. Each choice felt inadequate. Was she supposed to wear something bold that screamed confidence? Or was she better off in something that said she was approachable? She finally settled on a soft cream blouse and tailored jeans. Felt right. A blend of comfort and professionalism. "All right, you got this," she whispered into the mirror, focusing on her reflection. She brushed her hair back and slipped on her favorite necklace, a delicate silver chain with a tiny charm that her grandmother had given her. It always made her feel braver. On her way to the office, Emma rehearsed Mr. Henderson's words in her mind. "You want to miss this." What could it be? Would it be good news about her team, or would it signal trouble? As she arrived at the glass-fronted building, her nerves twisted again. The hustle of the city buzzed around her. People moved with purpose, an energy that both excited and terrified her. Emma paused for a moment, absorbing it all. This was the place where she would either thrive or falter. When she stepped into the lobby, the polished floors glinted, and the smell of fresh coffee wafted through the air. She approached the elevator, her thumb tapping nervously against her phone, as she replayed the day's possible outcomes. As the elevator doors opened onto the 5th floor, Emma felt authentic enthusiasm push her forward, despite her lingering anxiety. The office was brighter than she'd imagined, bustling with young professionals absorbed in their work. She smiled at a few friendly faces as she made her way to Mr. Henderson's office, her heart beating a little faster with each step. "Emma," he greeted with an encouraging smile as she entered. There was a warmth in his demeanor that put her slightly at ease. But he looked different today, more serious, almost pensive. "Hey, Mr. Henderson," she replied, sensing the weight of unspoken words in the air. "Have a seat," he gestured, closing the door behind her. "I want to discuss your new role and the team you'll be joining." Emma nodded, her stomach twisting. "I'm excited, but is everything okay?" "Let's just say not everything is what it seems. The team you'll be working with is exceptional, but it's worth noting that some dynamics may require adjusting," he said, the seriousness of his tone sending a ripple of concern through her. "Adjusting?" Emma echoed, narrowing her eyes, trying to glean what he meant. He leaned forward, his voice dropping. "There's a project on the horizon that will challenge you in ways you might not expect. But I believe you're ready if you choose to accept it." "What do you mean?" Emma's heart raced. "What kind of project?" His gaze held hers firmly, revealing a flicker of something she couldn't read. "This isn't going to be just another job, Emma. It's a chance to prove yourself, but it won't come without turbulence. A knot formed in her throat. Was she ready for turbulence? What's at stake? She couldn't help but ask, her voice barely above a whisper. Mr. Henderson sighed, a heavy breath that carried the weight of accountability. More than you think. This team has seen its fair share of challenges, and it's not just business. It's personal. Emma's thoughts raced. She felt the pattern of her life shifting beneath her, and the looming unknown both terrified and thrilled her. She had been craving this, the opportunity to step into the wild unknown, but reality brought with it a myriad of uncertainties. Do you think I can handle it? She asked, her voice trembling slightly. He smiled, this time with a reassuring warmth. Emma, I wouldn't have called you here if I didn't think you could. The question is, are you willing to take the leap? With her heart pounding in her chest, Emma realized she was standing again at the edge of that cliff. It was time to decide if she would bravely jump, regardless of what awaited her below. With courage rising, she took a deep breath. Yes, I'm ready. I want to embrace all of it. As she spoke the words, she felt a strange calm wash over her, but also the stirrings of something greater, something powerful yet daunting. What elemental forces had she now invited into her life? Then let us see how you handle the truth of this project, Mr. Henderson said with a nod, and Emma steeled herself. Her journey was just beginning, but what awaited her on the other side? Emma's resolve solidified, but the knot in her stomach remained. She needed to know what turbulence Mr. Henderson was hinting at. Can you tell me more about the project? She asked, trying to push past the uncertainty. He leaned back, contemplating for a moment. This project will require innovation, collaboration, and perhaps some unconventional thinking. You'll be working with a diverse team, each member bringing their own strengths and weaknesses. Sounds challenging, she acknowledged, excitement tinging her voice, but doubts crept back in. And by unconventional, you mean? Some team members have faced personal setbacks. I need you to help navigate these dynamics. There will be moments of friction. It won't be easy. Your ability to empathize and steer conversations will be key. Emma processed his words, their implications settling into her thoughts. People dealing with personal issues can make things complicated. Absolutely. But it can also foster stronger connections, aligning the team's goals in ways they might not expect. You'll have the chance to be a real catalyst for change. Her heart raced as she imagined the weight of that responsibility. And if I fail? Failure is part of growth, Emma. You learn more from what goes wrong than what goes right. He paused before adding, but I believe in your potential. His faith in her felt like armor against the looming doubts. She felt a tiny spark of determination ignite within. So what's the timeline? Start as soon as possible. The project meeting is scheduled for next week. I suggest you familiarize yourself with the team's past projects. Get a feel for their strengths and challenges. All right, Emma replied, a blend of excitement and apprehension washing over her. I'll dive in. Good, he said, a glimmer of approval in his eyes. This is your moment to shine. Make it count. As Emma left his office, the office buzzed around her, the faint sound of keyboards and low chatter vibrating in the air. Her mind swirled with possibilities. What would her new team be like? Would they welcome her ideas? Walking back to her desk, she felt like a diver about to plunge into unknown waters. Hey, Emma, called out Lydia, one of her colleagues. Got a minute? Emma smiled, grateful for the interruption. Sure. What's up? I heard you might be joining that new project team. That's exciting, Lydia said with genuine enthusiasm. You'll be great. Emma's heart lightened. Thanks. I hope I can help. I just found out it might be a bit chaotic. Lydia finished, a knowing glance passing between them. I've been hearing whispers about that team. They've had their struggles. Yeah, Emma admitted, but I want to give it my all. Just remember, it might be tough, but it's also a chance to learn. Lydia's words echoed Mr. Henderson's. Emma nodded, the support bolstering her resolve. Taking a leap was scary, but it was also where growth lived. As the day wore on, she became absorbed in her current tasks, but her thoughts kept drifting to the big transition ahead. Handling a team with personal struggles while managing her expectations, would she be strong enough? Later, Emma pulled out her notebook and penned a few questions she had for the team meeting. How could she make the group feel united? How would she approach tackling the mixed dynamics? Every stroke of the pen felt like preparation for the leap she was about to take. The unity she craved, the meaningful connections, were they worth the risk? Just then, her phone buzzed with a notification. She opened it and her stomach sank. It was a news alert about one of the team members, a public figure embroiled in a scandal. Emma's heart raced. Would this impact the project? How could she possibly navigate such a public relations crisis on top of everything else? Panic rippled through her. Perhaps this turbulence was more intense than she had anticipated. As she attempted to calm her racing heart, she knew one thing for certain. Diving into unknown depths could lead to remarkable discoveries or daunting challenges. Could she muster the strength to turn this whirlwind into an opportunity? Tomorrow would bring clarity, but what awaited her at the first team meeting? Emma awoke with a start, the sunlight streaming through her window, illuminating the dust motes dancing in the air. Today was the day. Her heart thudded in her chest as she grappled with the weight of expectations. She had a plan, but plans often encountered the unpredictable. In the shower, she let the warm water wash away her lingering doubts. She replayed Mr. Henderson's words in her mind, the way he spoke of growth and potential. But with each reassuring thought came an edge of fear. Would she be enough to navigate this team's complexities? Choosing her outfit took longer than usual. The black blazer she settled on made her feel professional, while the soft blue blouse added a touch of calm, a color she hoped would convey serenity in the midst of chaos. After a final glance in the mirror, Emma left her apartment, determination filling her steps. Along the way, she mentally reviewed her notes. Names, past projects, potential dynamics. And yet, the news alert still loomed over her thoughts, a dark cloud threatening to spill rain on her parade. The scandal involving Jared Blake, a prominent figure and teammate, flashed through her mind. If he showed up today, would there be tension? Would everyone walk on eggshells? As she entered the bustling office, the atmosphere buzzed with energy yet felt tangibly different. Conversations turned to whispers as Emma walked past. She caught snippets about Jared. With a quickened pulse, she took a deep breath, ready to face this challenge head-on. The conference room was large, filled with a diverse mix of faces, some unfamiliar, others she recognized from past meetings. As they settled in, the buzz of conversation quieted, and Emma felt all eyes upon her when she made her way to the front of the room. "Thank you all for being here," she began, her voice slightly wavering but steadying as she continued. "I know this meeting represents a new chapter for us. We're not just a team. We're a collective ready to harness our strengths." A few nods encouraged her, and she pressed on with her carefully crafted agenda. But just as she thought she was gaining traction, the door swung open, and Jared stepped inside. The energy in the room shifted dramatically like the drag of a heavy anchor. He was pale and tense, a stark contrast to the confident persona she had seen on television. Emma felt a ripple of tension amongst the team. She quickly adjusted her approach, softening her tone. "We're here to support each other and work collaboratively, especially through challenges." Jared nodded, looking almost relieved that someone had recognized the unsaid. Their eyes met for a fleeting moment, and Emma saw the flicker of vulnerability beneath his experienced exterior. This was a man in turmoil, and their shared humanity hung in the air between them. As the meeting unfolded, Emma guided the conversation skillfully, pulling in ideas and fostering dialogue among the team. Members began to open up, sharing personal insights that revealed the intricacies of their unique struggles. Then it happened. During what felt like a breakthrough moment, a team member voiced a worry about how Jared's scandal could affect their goals. Emma felt the collective breathing pause, anticipation thickening the air like a heavy fog. "Honesty can be a bridge," she said, her voice steady but compassionate. "We can either let this be a stumbling block or an opportunity for growth. Jared, how do you think we can use this situation to unite us?" Jared looked at her, surprise etched across his features. He nodded slowly, realizing she was giving him a chance to address the elephant in the room. "I've made mistakes, but I'm committed to owning them and making amends," he said, vulnerability spilling from his heart. "It's not just about me, it's about all of us." Subtle shifts began to occur as the group started to react. They began to chatter amongst themselves, and the initial tension transformed into something electric, real connection. Emma's heart swelled. This was exactly what she hoped for, the group breaking down their walls, drawing on shared experiences to look toward something greater. As the meeting concluded, everyone appeared lighter, more unified. But there was still a lingering question hanging in the air: had they truly turned a corner? Was the potential for deep connections going to blossom, or would the weight of personal struggles drag them down again? She could feel the burgeoning hope intertwine with apprehension as everyone filed out. Emma's smile faltered for just a moment when she noticed Jared lingering behind, his troubled eyes searching her face. "I really appreciate what you did today," he said quietly, the sincerity in his voice striking a chord deep within her. It was a moment of understanding, one that left her heart fluttering. But before she could respond, the door swung shut. What would he say next? How far could this newfound connection stretch? And would they have the courage to face what lay ahead together? Emma stood at the conference table, her heart still racing from the unexpected jolt of connection with Jared. A wave of emotions washed over her: relief, excitement, and a whisper of concern danced through her mind. She gathered her things, the sound of rustling papers and chairs shifting filling the room. As she walked out, she could still feel the weight of anticipation press against her chest. Had she really done enough? Their conversation with Jared had felt like the first step into uncharted waters. Would they all be able to keep that momentum going? The hallway was less crowded now, and Emma spotted her colleague Sarah leaning against the wall, her eyes alight with curiosity. "What was that all about? I saw you two talking at the end." Emma hesitated, searching for the right words. I think we're trying to reset, to support each other more," she said, trying to summarize her thoughts in a way that made sense. "Sounds like a tall order," Sarah replied, raising an eyebrow. "But if anyone can pull it off, it's you." Emma felt a warmth at Sarah's compliment, but couldn't shake the worry that loomed like a looming storm cloud. The hurdles ahead could prove to be more than they bargained for. As the day wore on, she caught snippets of conversation drifting from various cubicles. There was chatter about the immediate impacts of Jared's scandal, but some voices whispered of hope too. They believed in the possibility of redemption, and she couldn't help but wish her team would embrace the same spirit. She paused at the window, a splash of sunlight cascading across her face. In that moment of quiet, she decided to send Jared a quick message. "Let us keep pushing forward together," she typed, her thumbs hovering over the screen. Then she added, "You're not alone in this." The moment she hit send, a mix of nervousness and excitement coursed through her. What if he didn't respond? What if he felt too overwhelmed to engage? Emma's heart raced. She had stepped onto this path, but would he join her? The rest of the afternoon dragged on, punctuated by the echo of keyboards and murmurs of agreement or frustration. As she wrapped up her work and headed toward the exit, she felt her phone buzz in her pocket. It was Jared's reply. "Thanks, Emma. I really appreciate it. Let us meet up tomorrow to talk more." Hope surged through her veins. Could this be their chance to build something solid? She left the office with a spring in her step, but as she stepped onto the street, the weight of the day crashed back into her. Tomorrow felt monumental. What if they could discover a way to unite their team, find confidence amid the chaos, and heal their wounds together? At home, she prepared her notes for the next meeting with Jared. She wanted to make sure they tapped into something deeper, but her mind raced with unanswered questions. How could she help him share his vulnerability without putting him on the spot? Would the rest of the team be receptive, or would past mistakes haunt them? The air felt thick with anticipation as she placed her notes on the table. Emma knew one thing for sure: this was just the beginning. The next morning arrived with the dawn light spilling into her apartment, and she was ready to face whatever lay ahead. Yet as she stepped out, a niggling doubt tugged at her heart. Was she truly prepared for what Jared might reveal about himself? What if he held back, clinging to the safety of his guarded past. Her phone chimed again, an unknown number. She paused, hesitating before opening the message. "Emma, we need to talk. It's about Jared." Her breath caught in her throat. What could be so urgent? What was this twist that could alter everything? Emma's heart raced as she stared at the message, the words echoing ominously in her mind. Who could be reaching out like this? She had so many questions. Was Jared in trouble again? Did someone know something she didn't see? Her fingers trembled slightly as she typed back. Who is this? Simple and direct. She needed to know if this was an honest concern or just more drama. The waiting felt endless. Each second stretched on, heavy with tension. When her phone buzzed again, she nearly dropped it. "This is Mike from HR. We really need to talk. But it's not safe to discuss over text." Mike's voice was usually calm and light, but there was an undercurrent of urgency this time. Emma felt a knot tighten in her stomach. She had always trusted Mike. He was the one who ensured that company policies were fair, that voices were heard. But what was happening? "Okay," she typed back, her pulse pounding through her fingers. "When? Can you come to my office in 10? It's important." Emma took a deep breath. 10 minutes. She couldn't shake the feeling that this was somehow connected to Jared. She had just started to think they could work through the turmoil together. And now this unsettling interruption threatened to derail everything. Her brain raced with possibilities as she made her way to HR. Could they have learned something about Jared that she hadn't? Would they be questioning her intentions in wanting to help him? As she approached the office, Emma noticed the formal decor and felt the weight of expectations heavy in the air. She knocked briefly before stepping inside. Mike was standing, his face a mix of concern and determination. "Emma, thank you for coming," he said, pointing to a chair across from his desk. "I wanted to discuss some information that's come to light regarding Jared's situation." She sat, her heart pounding in her chest. "What about Jared? Is he okay?" Mike glanced to the door, ensuring it was shut, then leaned in slightly. "There are some factors we need to take into account. The backlash from his scandal is becoming more complicated, and there are rumors that could hurt his recovery, as well as the team morale." Emma felt her stomach drop. This wasn't just about helping Jared anymore. It was about protecting their whole team from potential fallout. What kind of rumors? There's talk that he isn't being completely forthcoming about his past. Some are claiming he is hiding things, and if that gets out, it could erase all the goodwill he has been building, Mike said, running a hand through his hair, a sign of his own frustration. "I don't want to panic you, but you've been in close contact with him. If there's anything you know." Each word fell like a stone in the silence. Emma felt the weight pulling her deeper into a pit of unease. She wanted to assure Mike that she believed in Jared, that they were working through things together. But at the same time, she had her own doubts. What if Jared hadn't told her everything? "I don't know if I'm the right person to ask, but I can do my best to get him to open up," Emma replied, her voice steady despite the turmoil within. "He needs support, not judgment." "I agree, but tread carefully. This isn't just about him. It's about the entire team," Mike warned, his eyes piercing into hers. "If it all comes crashing down, it could affect everyone." Emma walked out of the office, her mind swirling with the gravity of their talk. The pressure felt insurmountable. What would she do if Jared's secrets began to surface? Was she strong enough to handle whatever lay ahead? Deciding to confront the issues head-on, she realized tomorrow's meeting with Jared would be crucial, not only for their growth but for the team's survival. She hoped that together they could navigate the storm brewing on the horizon and maybe even find warmth in the chaos. But with that thought loomed another. If Jared had been holding back, how would she ever get to the truth? Would everything come crashing down before they even had a chance to rebuild? Emma stood before the mirror, her heart pounding as she readied herself for the day. A storm of anxiety buzzed around her. She could feel it crackling in the air. Today, she would confront Jared about the secrets looming over them and brace herself for the truth. The taste of excitement mingled with apprehension filled her throat. She practiced what she might say, each word a step towards building a crucial connection. "We'll face this together," she reminded herself, clutching the inside of her blazer. As she walked into the office, the usual buzz was muted, overshadowed by the past few days' events. She felt the eyes of her colleagues flicker toward her, whispers echoing in the hallways. They were all holding their breaths, waiting for something to happen. Emma made her way to the conference room where she and Jared would meet, her mind racing with possibilities. How would they navigate the turbulence that had emerged from his scandal? Would he open up, or would the weight of his past keep him firmly anchored? The door swung open, and there he stood tall with a hint of vulnerability shadowing his features. Their eyes connected, and a silent understanding passed between them. This was it. "Hey," she said softly, gesturing for him to sit. "Thanks for meeting with me." "Of course," he replied, but there was a hesitance in his voice that sent a shiver down her spine. Emma took a deep breath. "Listen, I wanted to talk about everything that has been happening. The rumors, the tension." Jared shifted uncomfortably, running a hand through his hair, a telltale sign of his unease. "Yeah, it's all been a lot. I didn't want to drag the team down with my problems." "Jared." Her voice held urgency. "You can't carry this alone. We're here to support you. Together." His gaze fell to the table, the weight of his secrets heavy between them. I don't know where to start. I feel like I've let everyone down." "You haven't let anyone down," she insisted, her voice firm. "But you do need to be honest with us. The team deserves to know what's going on." Jared looked torn, conflicted between trust and fear. It's just everything's been spiraling since the scandal. The press, the rumors, they don't care about the truth, only the story. I don't even know how to explain it all. "Start small," Emma encouraged, her heart racing to fill the silence. "What are you afraid of? What's weighing you down?" He sighed deeply, vulnerability washing over him. "I've made some bad choices in the past. If I talk about them, I worry it'll just make things worse. But I'd rather face this with you all than pretend nothing's wrong. I just don't know how to make amends." Emma's heart softened, the sincerity in his words grounding her. "You're already starting the path to mending things by being here, by wanting to be open with the team," she offered. "You don't have to hide anymore." As he looked into her eyes, she saw the flicker of hope igniting, a flame merely needing the air to grow. Maybe we could create an approach together? Something that highlights our strengths rather than just the past?" "Exactly," she exclaimed, feeling the warmth of collaboration pooling between them. "It's up to us to turn this around. If we support each other, it could set a powerful precedent for the whole team." With a deep breath, he nodded, a hint of determination igniting behind his eyes. "Okay, let us do it. Let us face this together." Emma felt a rush of relief, her heart swelling with gratitude. They were stepping into the unknown, but this moment felt charged with possibility. The storm didn't have to break them. It could bond them together. Later that week, Emma and Jared presented their plans to the team. As they laid out a vision of honesty, support, and shared experiences, something shifted in the room. The tension that once gripped them morphed into solidarity. Jared's raw honesty brought everyone closer, and they began to weave a greater narrative, one that embraced every struggle, including their own. They all felt lighter, walls starting to break down. The initial whispers turned into supportive conversations, hearts opening, embarrassment slipping away. Emma smiled as she watched the transformation unfold before her. The strength of their struggles had shifted into a collective resilience. They were a team bound not just by their pasts, but by their willingness to rise above them. And as the sun set that day, casting warm golden rays through the conference room windows, Emma realized that sometimes the most profound revelations came from vulnerability. Together, they turned their fears into something beautiful. Her journey had led her deep into the heart of darkness, but with each step alongside Jared and their teammates, she had emerged into the light, a place filled with hope, possibility, and an unbreakable bond forged through truth. This was just the beginning. Make a difference. If you felt inspired by Emma's journey, subscribe immediately to the channel so you don't miss the next exclusive stories. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm and help others find this transformation. Comment with your thoughts and feelings about this ending. and share instantly this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this inspiring journey. You need to show your support. Let us keep the positive energy flowing. Don't wait not even one more second to share.